Shalom, shalom. We continue Masechet Taanis. We are on Daf Tes Amud Aleph, Taanis 9a on the second line. And this Amud is a fantastic, jam-packed Amud with many different topics that we will discuss, hopefully. And we are currently in the middle of an analysis of a pasuk of Aser to Aser, which means that you should give Meiser from your crops. It's the 10% that we have to give to the Beis Hamikdash. And now we get into a story of Rav Yochanan and the child of Reish Lakish. This is known. Rav Yochanan was the one who took Reish Lakish and brought him back to the religion. Reish Lakish was a very well-known, very famous robber, and Rav Yochanan took him in under his wing and made him into the amazing Amora that we learn about in the Gemara. So now we have an encounter between Rav Yochanan and Reish Lakish's son. This seems to be after Reish Lakish had already died. And they're going to be talking about this pasuk that we're talking about, Aser to Aser. And with that, let's get right into it. Ashkechei Rav Yochanan leYenuka to Reish Lakish. Rav Yochanan found the child of Reish Lakish, Amar Le, and he said to him, Emeli Psukech, tell me the pasuk that you were learning today. Amar Le, and the boy told him, Aser to Aser, I learned the pasuk that you have to give Meiser. Amar Le, and so the boy responded. Now this back and forth, by the way, is a little bit confusing because there's seems to be one extra Amar Le, which makes the entire conversation a little bit confusing, especially as the conclusion. We will go with Rashi's interpretation, who says this Amar Le is an additional Amar Le from the student, from the boy, to Rabbi Yochanan. So that's how Rashi explains it, and with that explanation, the rest of the whole thing flows beautifully, but it does make two Amar Le's with the same character speaking to the other character twice in a row, which isn't very common. Nevertheless, we will go with that explanation, and it'll make sense. Amar Le, the boy said to Rabbi Yochanan, Umay Aser Taser, what's the meaning of this pasuk? So Amar Le, Rabbi Yochanan replied, Aser b'shvil tatit asher. You should give Meiser in order that you become rich. So Amar Le, so the boy said, Minalach, how do you know that that's true? Amar Le, so the Rabbi Yochanan said, Zil Nasi, go and check it out. Amar Le, so the boy asked, Umi Shari l'nisri l'Kadosh Baruch Hu, are we allowed to test HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Are we allowed to test God? And it says, Lo Tanasios Hashem, you're not allowed to test Hashem. Very famous pasuk in Devarim. Very right around the psukim of Kriya Shema. It's right in the same parsha, Veschanan, I believe. It's very serious avera to test God. So Amar Le, so Rav Yochanan said, Hachi Amar Rav Hoshia. This is what Rav Hoshia said. Chutz mizu. This is the only exception. Meaning Meiser is the only exception. Everything else you're not allowed to test God, but in Meiser you are allowed to test God. It says, Haviyu es kol ha-Meiser al beis ha'otzar. Bring all of the Meiser to the storehouse. V'hi tarif b'beisi. There'll be a bunch of food in my house, meaning in my house in the Beis Hamikdash. This is from Malachi, by the way, very important. Uv'chanuni na bezos, and you can test me with this. Amar Hashem tzavakos. So says Hashem tzavakos. Im lo aftach lechem es arubos hashemayim. You'll see that I'm going to open up the windows of heaven. The harikosi lachem bracha ad blidai, and I will give you bracha until there's not even enough, or until ad blidai, until there's too much. That is the entire pasuk in Malachi Perek Gimel. My ad blidai, what's the meaning of ad blidai? Until, literally it means until there isn't enough, until there's not enough, or blidai, not enough. It doesn't really mean not enough. It means there's going to be so much that you're gonna have an overabundance of all this food. So what's the meaning of these words? Amar Rami Bar Chama Amarav, Ad sheyivlu sifsosechem milomar dai, until your lips wear out from saying die. And what's interesting is that die is not a word in Hebrew which uses the lips. It's the word which uses the tongue and the roof of the mouth, the palate. So you could say die from today to tomorrow. Your lips will never wear out from saying die, because it is not a word that uses any letters used by the lips. And that's the meaning of the Gemara here. Amar Le. So the boy said back to him, and this is the chutzpah. This is why Rashi altered that first Amar Le, and now why this is important, because Rabbi Yochanan is going to get upset at him. If I had already reached this pasuk in my learning, I wouldn't have needed you or Hoshaya, your Rebbe, which is a very disrespectful way of addressing Rabbi Yochanan, for sure, the leader of the entire Jewish community in Eretz Yisrael. And there was another time, Ashkechei Rav Yochanan Linoka de Reish Lakish. Rav Yochanan found Reish Lakish's child, the Yasiv Amar, who was sitting and he was repeating the following pasuk: Ivelas Adam Tiselef Darko, that a wicked man or a foolish man perverts his own ways. Val Hashem is aflibo, but towards Hashem, that's who his heart gets angry at. Meaning a person, a wicked or stupid person, messes his own himself, and with his own foolishness, his own mistakes, and then when he suffers the consequences of his stupid actions, he turns up and says, "God, how could you do this to me?" That's the meaning of that pasuk. That's from Mishlei Perek Yutes. Yosef Rabbi Yochanan the Kamatama. And Rabbi Yochanan was very amazed by this pasuk. Amar, he said, how could it be possible that there's something that's hinted at or taught in the Ksuvim, which is not taught in the Torah? And Rashi explains, is Rashi explaining it? It's the no, Rashi's later. Okay. Amarle, and so the child said to him, Atu hamilo remizi. Who said there's no remes to this in the pasuk in the Torah? Vaksiv, we learned in the pasuk in the Torah. Vayetze libam vayecharadu ish el achiv lemor, and their hearts were very afraid. And one man said to his brother lemor, saying, Mazos hasa elokim lanu. What is this that Hashem did to us? And this is when the brothers, Yosef's brothers, were very nervous when they went down to Mitzrayim, and they didn't recognize Yosef, and Yosef was being very mean to them. And they said, how could God do this to us? They didn't recognize that it was the product of their own mistake, of their own actions, that was coming back to haunt them. So this is the reference, the remez, to that pasuk in Mishlei, all the way back in Bereshis, Perek Mem Beis. Dal Einei v'chazabe. So Rav Yochanan lifted up his eyes to look at him. As we know, we've seen this already several times, that when we saw this in Brachos, that when this happens in the Gemara, when someone lifts up their eyes to look at someone else, we saw this with Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, generally what it means is that he's about to turn the person he's looking at into a pile of bones. So he's about to kill this child for being so disrespectful. Asa Imei, so the boy's mother ran over, Apikte, and grabbed him away. Amrle, and she said to Rav Yochanan, she said to the child, Tamikane, come in and run away from here. So he shouldn't do to you what he did to your father. There's a story in Bava Metzia, Daf Pei Dalet Amud Aleph, where a similar story happened with Rish Lakish and Rav Yochanan. They got into an argument, and Rav Yochanan looked at Rish Lakish and turned him into a pile of bones. So the mother was afraid that Rav Yochanan would do the same thing to the son, and so she took the son away before Rav Yochanan could do that. Rav Yochanan said, Matar b'shvil yachid, that rain falls on behalf of a single person. However, parnasa b'shvil rabim, but parnasa can only be given for many, many different people. So Matar b'shvil yachid, we know that rain falls for a single person. Dichsiv, it says, Yiftach Hashem lecha es otzara tov, latet matar artzecha, that Hashem will open up His good storehouse to give to you. The latet is singular. Or no, rather, lecha. Yiftach Hashem lecha. Hashem will open to you. To you is singular. Lecha is singular as otzar tov, His good storehouse. Latet matar artzecha, to give rain to the ground. And parnasa b'shvil rabim d'chsiv. How do we know that parnasa is for many people, as it says in the pasuk? Hineni mamtir lachem lechem. I will give you lechem. I will mamtir you lechem. So lechem is more indicative of parnasa, and lechem is plural. So that means that parnasa can only come on behalf of multiple people. Meisvei, challenge. This was challenged by Rav Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. And Omer, he said, Shlosha parnasim tovim amdu Yisrael. There were 3 good parnasim, great leaders for the Jewish nation. And we're going to get a little bit of a story. And towards the end of this, we're going to understand how this contradicts what Rav Yochanan said about there being parnasa only coming for more than one person, for the rabbin. So there were 3 great leaders for the Jewish people. Elohim, these were the 3 parnasim. It was Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. Very relevant to today's parsha this week, Bahal Oscha, which talks about the Lashon Hara that Miriam and Aaron spoke about Moshe Rabbeinu. So now we get more details of very Inyanim Yoma. Awesome when that happened. So Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. The Shlosha Matanos Tovos Nitnu Al Yadam. There were 3 great gifts that Hashem gave through them. Elohim, these are the 3 gifts. Be'er v'anan v'man, Miriam's well, Aaron's clouds, the ananei hakavod, and the Moshe's man, the food that fell from Shemayim. Be'er b'schus Miriam, the well came on behalf of Miriam. Amud Anan b'schus Aaron, and the cloud stood on behalf of Aaron. And Man b'schus Moshe, the man came because of Moshe. Mesa Miriam, but when Miriam died, Nisal Kabe'er, the well disappeared, and the Jews had no water. Shneimar, as it says, Vatamas Miriam died there, Ksiv Basrei, and immediately after that it says, in the same pasuk, V'lo haya mayim la'eda, there was no water for the congregation. V'chazra b'schus shneim, but the water, the well, it returned because of the schus of both Moshe and Aharon, who were still alive. Mes Aharon, and then Aharon died. Nistalku Anani HaKavod, the Anani HaKavod disappeared. Shneimar, as it says, V'yishma HaKnani Melech Arad, and the Knani, the king of Arad, the king Arad, he heard something, and then it says he went and waged war with the Jews. So Mashimu Shama, what news did he hear? Shama Shemes Aharon V'nistalku Anani HaKavod. He heard that Aharon had died, and that the Anani HaKavod had disappeared. Because Savar, and he had thought, Nishnalo Rishus Lilachem B'Yisrael, that he was being given Rishus to fight a war against Israel. And that's what the pasuk means when it says Vayiru kol ha'eda ki gava Aharon, that the entire nation saw that Aharon died. Amar Ravo, and Ravo explains, Al tikri Vayiru, don't read and they saw, Ela Vayira'u, but read and they feared. They were afraid. They saw that Aharon died and they were afraid. They were afraid because now they were lacking the protection of the Anane HaKavod. Kididarish Rish Lakish, as Rish Lakish Darshind, same character we spoke about earlier in the Amud, his son at least, that he had the following exposition. Damar Rish Lakish, as Rish Lakish said, Ki Mishamesh, Ki, the word Ki, Mishamesh Ba'arba Lashonos, it is used for 4 different words. The word Ki can mean 4 different words in the Chumash. This line is so important in understanding the Chumash, in understanding the Torah, that the word Ki can mean any one of these 4 things. And playing around with these 4 words in Pesukim that have the word Ki is crucial and essential information. What are the 4 words? If, Dilma, perhaps, Ella, but, and Daha, because. So one of the 4, it can be read, so Ki, in our pasuk, which we said, Vayiru kol ha'eda ki gava Aharon, and we said it's not Vayiru, but Vayira'u, it's Vayira'u kol ha'eda, the entire nation was afraid. Ki, because, now in case this is Dilma, or Daha, because, Gava Aharon. They saw that Aharon had died. That's the way he's explaining that pasuk. So nevertheless, now we had the Be'er had left, the Anan had left, and Chazir Shnehem b'zchus Moshe. They both returned only on the zchus of Moshe Rabbeinu. Mes Moshe, when Moshe died, nistalku kulam. All of them went away. Shneimar, as it says, va'akrid et shloshas haroim b'yerach achas. I have cut off the 3 shepherds in 1 month. 3 shepherds being Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. I have killed them all off in a single month. That's from Zechariah. Is it true that they died in 1 month? Miriam Mesa ben Nisan, but Miriam died in Nisan. Aaron ba'av, Aaron died in Av, or Shodesh Av actually. Or Moshe ba'adar, and Moshe died in Adar, on the 7th of Adar. Ela milamed shenizbatlu shlosha matanos tovos shenasnu al yadan. But this comes to teach you that the 3 gifts that we were given on behalf of them were all nizbatel at one time. V'nistalku kulam b'yarach achad. They all disappeared in a single month. So alma ashrichan parnasa b'shvil yachid. So we find that parnasa, which we said was lechem earlier, and now in this story we see was the man. It came on behalf of a single person, which was Moshe. Moshe was one of the parnasim, and he not only got the man, but he also got the be'er and the Anani HaKavod. So he's giving them this parnasa, and he's only a single person. So Rabbi Yochanan, what are you talking about? That parnasa can only come on behalf of Rabbi. It came on behalf of a Yachid. It came on behalf of Moshe, and we lost it all when Moshe a Yachid died. So what are you talking about? Answers the Gemara. Shani Moshe is different. Kivan dil Rabim Hubai Kirabim Dami. Since he was making his request, or he was davening on behalf of the Rabim, he was similar to the Rabim. And guys, this is a lesson in Jewish spirituality. If you want to have the Zchus Rabim, then you have to do things on behalf of the Rabim. You have to do things that are helpful to everybody, and to be that kind of person who does things that is beneficial to the entire community, to the entire shul, to the entire class, to the Rabim. If you want to be the kind of person who gets all these things in your, in that kind of zchus, the kind of spiritual merit, you do things on behalf of the rabbin. We continue in the Gemara. Rav Huna bar Manoach for Rav Shmuel bar Idi for Rav Chia mivastanya. These three rabbis, Rav Huna, Rav Shmuel, and Rav Chia, from these different places. These are not the most common Rav Huna. These are a specific Rav Huna, a specific Rav Shmuel, and a specific Rav Chia. But these three rabbis, Havu Shkichi Kami the Rava, they were all three students. They learned by the yeshiva of Rava. And Kinach Nafshe de Rava, when Rava had passed away, Asul Kame de Rav Papa. They went to learn by Rav Papa. And they were not very nice students. Kol Imastahava Amar Luhu Shmaita, Luhava Mistavrlu, anytime the Rav Papa would say kind of a halacha that they wouldn't agree with, Havu Maramze Ahadade. They would make signs one to another. They would kind of make a joke in class. They were jokesters. They were not very good students. Such things existed even in times of the Gemara. So Chalash Date, Rav Papa became very upset. And Akruye Bechalma, he saw a pasuk in a dream, and the pasuk he saw is the pasuk we just mentioned in the previous story. Ba'akid eshloshas haroim. I cut off the three shepherds. And Lamachar, the next day, Rav Papa understood that this pasuk was reference to his three students who were giving him problems. And Kihavu Mifteri Minei, when these students went to leave the shir, Amar Lahu, he said to them, Liz the Rabbanan Bishlama. You rabbis should go in peace. Lech Bishalom. And that is something we only say to someone who's near death. Not Lech Lishalom, go to peace, but Lech Bishalom, go in peace. That is the way, go to peace. Really, it probably should say Lech Lishalom. And there are some girsas that say that, go to peace. But nevertheless, the implication is that these three students, because they were being disrespectful in class, they were being told that they were about to die. Let's do one more story before we finish, because this is also about Rav Papa. Rav Shimi bar Ashi have a shkiach hamid Rav Papa. Rav Papa had another student, Rav Shimi bar Ashi, have a makshi leituva. And used to ask him lots and lots of questions. Yom achad chazir denafal alapein. One day, the student saw that Rav Papa fell on his face, and Shami da Amar, and he heard that Rav Papa was saying to himself, Rachmana litzlan, Hashem should help me. Mekisufa de Shimi, from the embarrassment of Shimi, of the student, because Shimi was asking him too many questions, he didn't know the answers, and he was being very embarrassed in front of all the students. Kabel ale shtikusa, so the student accepted silence. The su lo akshile, and he would not ask him any more questions and didn't bother him in front of the whole class. So we will pause, we will end here, and we will continue this tomorrow. But just as a quick aside before we finish, this story does talk about Rav Papa receiving too many difficult questions and being embarrassed. But please, if you do have questions, we want to hear questions. I speak on behalf of myself, Rav Ganak, Rav Cohen, Rav Klein, all the Rabbeim in the chat. We want to hear your questions. If you have questions, please ask us questions. Please bother us, and we'd love to discuss what your thoughts with you about any of the topics we discussed here. Okay, I hope that was clear, and hope that was understandable. Hope you all have a wonderful Shabbos and a beautiful rest of your day.